Good afternoon, you wee bastards, and welcome back to War Thunder with Koala, and welcome to Earth Thunder. Yeah, Gadget, that name doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Nevertheless, this is our April Fool's event for 2019. UFO battles using laser guns, railguns and torpedoes in an alternate reality US city with energy shields, stealth technology. Wow, Gadget, I'll give you this, you don't half-ass these events, do you? By the way lads, I am live streaming the event right now as you're seeing this, and likely will be pretty much all day, so come hang out with me on Twitch, link will be in the video description, and we're actually raising money for charity today, so if you feel like supporting children with mental illness, mental disability, and come throw some money at us, eh? Now the popular belief has been, what's this April event a test for? Well, VTOL. I, however, don't really see that VTOL as a singular mechanic for something like a Harrier would need its own public test. Why would it? Vector thrust for modern jet engines outside VTOL sounds more likely to me, along with the VTOL capability just kind of going hand in hand with that. Mostly, I just think this event is meant to be fun, and boy is it fun. What you're seeing in the background is my second match in the event. Unfortunately, my recording software didn't work for the first game, but I have been absolutely loving using the hover mode in the city inside the energy shield, using railguns on the many players who haven't yet learned how to use their shields. I've been continuously racking up more than 10 kill games and having an absolute blast. So, for everyone who said aliens for April Fools, you are right. For those of you who suggested it might be zombies or a nuclear apocalypse type setting, you're also partially right. Gaijin's been teasing this for a good few days now, with the data mined sound files and Easter egg hunts. The original trailer was an absolutely phenomenally made trailer, but not a lot of you will remember, Gaijin actually dropped a hint for this over a month ago on an episode of The Shooting Range, which I had no idea what that meant at the time, but it makes sense now. Something about flashing red lights or something like that, I can't remember exactly. The initial trailer, and especially Mike Goes Boom's video analysis of it, immediately had me going horror game. Just the continuous ticking, the abandoned ghost town. I'll be honest, when I first kicked open the event after the truth will be revealed countdown and saw that it was basically just helicopter battles, but the helicopters are UFOs, I was a tad disappointed. I was expecting maybe something story-driven, something horror-related, and I honestly thought that with the pilot's image on the trailer thumbnail that went up when the event opened that we'd see modern jets like F-16s alongside MiG-29s intercepting invading UFOs, and that would be our alternate reality. Like, what if the US and Russia had to join forces to repel an alien invasion? That I would have absolutely loved. An infantry test with zombies would have seemed a bit samey. There's a lot of games out there that do the exact same thing, but I would really have enjoyed seeing it, especially in War Thunder's engine. Like, maybe you could gather spawn points and bring in a tank to kill the zombies, but if you got overrun, zombies would break into the tank through the hatches and you'd die, and that would be a good test bed for infantry in War Thunder, which, despite the fact that it'll probably never happen, I still retain my naive hard-on for. But what we have is, well, it is fantastically well made, and it's going to be remembered far better than last year's Silent Thunder, but it's still War Thunder at the end of the day. I don't know why I expected anything different, so that's my fault. The backstory is about as relevant to gameplay as in Titanfall. If you guys remember Titanfall, still one of my favourite games of all time, but nothing story-driven about that game at all. Backstory goes, aliens invaded, military cover-up, aliens are now using zombified humans in a kind of sport or game where they fly their disc-shaped ship against each other and attempt to capture a map, just like War Thunder Ground Forces. Side note, the alien language that Gaijin's made up is really cool looking, but maybe an English translation alongside it would be very helpful, because it took me till the second match before I worked out how to use my energy shields. Just a note to Gaijin for coming days, if you're confused, G will put you into low altitude hover mode and will start your energy shields and switch you over to railguns, which can penetrate through other craft that have their own shields on. However, what's special about this event is that this one combines every aspect of War Thunder that we've seen, including last year's submarines. We obviously have air battles, which the way these things fight each other in the air is kind of halfway between aircraft battles and helicopter battles, so that's cool. Then you have the interior of the city, similar to tank battles in that everyone's going low and slow and using weapons that have a reload time and need to be led, your railguns. And then, rather than just fight on the ocean surface, we have underwater capabilities, which basically turn this gameplay into a better frickin' submarines test than last year's actual submarine game. Honestly, this game mode kind of reminds me of, like, War Thunder meets Halo. Sure, it's cheesy, I mean, it is goofy, not nearly as horror themed as I was expecting. We've got a glowing red energy shield bubble and laser guns, rail guns, flying saucers. Yeah, it's goofy. I mean, think the old 1990s vision of what aliens would be like when everyone thought propeller hats was the coolest fucking thing you could wear. The game mode is quite simple. I mean, it's the tank battle capture point mechanics, but with flying saucers and futuristic weapons. It mostly devolves into a deathmatch like Air RB does, and right now, given that we're only exploring this game for the first time, and as of recording this video, I've literally been playing since the second the event opened, and I have a grand total of 4 matches, so this is still very new to all of us. So because of that, some people are still learning what these things are like. They're buzzing around at high speed, not really thinking tactically or anything, just having crazy, mindless fun, which is what April Fool's is meant to be, obviously, but yeah, it's not the most diverse gameplay experience. All the flying saucers are the same. Maybe it'd be nice if they were like a light, medium, and heavy one, huh? I think that'd be sick. Along with maybe a teleporting or blinking mechanic, something like that. That would be so cool. There are also some bugs in this game mode, with you sometimes being able to fire lasers through the energy shield, even though the whole point of them is to stop that happening, and the craft really have a tendency to get stuck on trees, buildings, the ground. I mean, the trees get me. These aliens have the power to defy gravity casually, enslave the minds of humans, and cross the vast expanse of space, but they can't defeat goddamn trees! Obviously they're made of Stalin wood. The only thing that can repel aliens is Stalin wood, guys, remember that. Aiming is difficult, with the guns all being turrets that you traverse with the mouse, but the craft also spin with the mouse, so you'll swing your turret around to face an enemy that's behind you, but you'll end up spinning way past him because at the same time your turret spins, so does your entire ship, and the turret traversing speed isn't quick enough to stay on target. That's another thing these aliens haven't mastered yet. That's a simple change, one I do think Gaijin could implement today before the event ends in likely 2 or 3 days. That's pretty standard. Aiming your railguns at close range is next to impossible because they don't aim at the crosshair at all. If you've ever been within 100 meters of an aircraft on their 6, fired and completely missed them because your shots went low even though your crosshair was right on target, you'll know what I mean. Also, lasers sometimes just don't register that they're doing any damage, so at long ranges it's really tough to tell whether the enemy is out of range, or if you're missing them completely, or if you're just impacting a shield, and I feel like this could be addressed, but seeing as in 3 days time we're not likely to ever see these things again, it probably won't be. Don't waste effort developing something that's only going to last a couple of days. Having said all of that, the design of the event is fucking phenomenal. The bugs are pretty minimal, the visual design is amazing, the city is gosh darn beautiful, the ability to fly between skyscrapers and over the suspended highways or through the circle on that Chinese building Mike talked about, then duck into the water to escape enemy fire, spin around and blap them with your torpedo, shotgun, bomb, weapon, whatever that is. I mean, you know, aliens. This stuff is really cool. There are so many fantastic moments I've had already, and I'm really keen to keep playing this as much as I can, or until the replay value starts wearing out. But remember, you've only got a few days and then it's going away forever. Back to the map. Seriously, the attention to detail and textures here is better than most maps in the regular game. The abandoned vehicles, the highways, canals, skyscrapers, the houses and trees, and of course the flying saucers themselves. I think if this map were adjusted a bit, it would make for an epic either a helicopter map or tank arcade map. As you can see, everything looks amazing. The only gripe with visual design I have is that the highways make no sense. There's no way to get on or off them, and besides them, there's no bridges I've found that cross the canals, so yeah, I don't know how these people traverse their city. It is just an event, however, remember that, and Gaijin has put an insane amount of effort into this one, mostly in the cosmetics department though, I think, but yeah, it's really well made. After holding off on releasing the event to fix bugs, it's relatively seamless gameplay, and boy oh boy is it fun. Seriously, I wish Gaijin would do that with regular updates. I mean, to this day the SJ4 still doesn't have its all-flying tail. That's barely even half an hour's work to fix. I hope you lads enjoy the event, I hope to see you on the live stream, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell, join the 360 squad, and remember to come follow me on social media at the links in the description below. Of course, let me know your thoughts on this event in the comment section below. Remember to come check out my Patreon if you'd like to support the channel further, and always remember to keep your photon torpedoes to hand, your energy shield on, and I shall warp to you next video. I say a wee thank you to these lads for supporting me on Patreon. The Bretlander, Seagull Nuts, DA261, Latvian Wolf, Gisli Garashin, and Dark Recon. You lads are braw. If you wish to join them, come check out the link in the description below.